Well, good evening. It is Sunday night. I just finished typing out my Sunday night thoughts for the evening, but realized that here we are on Sunday night, and I hadn't done my devotional yet for the week. We find ourselves today. This is our devotional based on the Revised Common Lectionary. Today is the I think I've lost track which Sunday it is. Let me just double check. It is the fourth Sunday after Pentecost. That's what I thought it was. So it's the fourth Sunday after Pentecost. We are looking at the Gospels. We are in the season of ordinary time, a season of growth. And we find ourselves in Mark's account of Jesus calming the storm. Mark chapter 4, 35 through 41. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." And so they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat and began to fill it with water. Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat with the head on the cushion. The disciples woke him up shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the water, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped and there was great calm. And then he asked, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" They ask each other. "Even the winds and the waves obey him." Wow. I'm reminded in this story of that Jesus, that Mark relates to us, in this account that Mark relates to us. I'm struck by the similarities of another man who was sleeping in a boat when a great storm, and they said, "How can you sleep at a time like this?" Yeah, it was Noah. Noah was in the boat, fleeing from Nineveh. He did not want to go to Nineveh. He was going to Tarshish, and he was fleeing, and he was sleeping. A great storm came up. In this case, Jesus in some ways was fleeing. He was trying to flee the crowds, and even though he tried to flee the crowds, the boats followed. And he was sleeping in the back of the boat. A great wave, and the disciples are like, "Don't you care? Wake up! Don't you care that we're going to drown?" And I think it's important to remember that Jesus does care. That sometimes we get ourselves in our own mess, and sometimes messes just happen to us. But there are times that, and we even saw this morning as we were looking at the story of Job. And sometimes it's hard to remember that even in the crazy, tough times, that God is faithful. And yet, here Jesus is. He goes, "Why are you so afraid? I'm going to be faithful." And Jesus had already showed several times when he was going to, that he fixed up things. Several miracles have already happened. Why are you so afraid? I can only imagine. In the same way that when Jonah was thrown overboard, everything came to a calm still. Jesus just simply said, "Enough, peace be still." And it was. Jesus can speak peace into our lives. I mentioned this on Wednesday night during our Bible study, and we were talking about this idea of peace. We go back to Genesis chapter 1 and 2. It said that the earth was formless and void. Another word to say is, and the world was full of chaos. The earth was formless. The earth was chaos. And Jesus spoke his shalom, his peace, into the chaos, and the world formed. And every time God spoke, he spoke more shalom into the world. And it's the same word that Jesus now speaks. He says, "Peace, be still. Be quiet." I don't know what you're going through today, but perhaps you may think that Jesus is just in the back of the boat and he's sleeping. I want you to know there's no reason to be afraid. He desires to speak peace into your life. And that we may still go through troubles. He is faithful, and we may continue to go through troubles, and that's just part of living the life that we're called to live. Is the trials may still come. We're not guaranteed. A life without any trials. But remember that He is faithful, that He desires to speak peace into your life. I love the disciples' response. Who is this that the wind and waves obey Him? So today I remind you that He is faithful. He wants to speak peace into your life. He is our peace. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.